so much for tuning in to today's full day of eating and intermittent fasting. I was considering doing a completely separate video on how I got started on intermittent fasting in the first place. I've been doing it now for over 3 years. I absolutely love it, and my body naturally doesn't want to eat anymore until after 12, 1, 2, sometimes even 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If you'd like to hear how I got started with intermittent fasting, please let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. And as always, please keep in mind that my way of eating keto is a lot different than 99% of the people that you will find. Instead of focusing on staying under a certain carb amount and hitting a certain fat amount and making sure I'm hitting my protein every single day exactly dead on, I focus much more on nutrient density. When you see my meals and all the foods that I choose to put in my body, they serve very specific purposes. You'll see that the meals are based mainly around vegetables as opposed to just a protein and butter and bacon. Not saying that anything is wrong with that way of eating. If you have a goal of losing weight, you have to be a little bit more strict with where you use your carbs. But me, because I do it for therapeutic and more medical reasons as opposed to fat loss, I can play with my macros a little bit more. And again, everything I choose to put in my body has a very specific purpose. I am more interested in the nutrients and the vitamins and the minerals that food has to offer my body, as opposed to just losing a ton of weight. So just keep that in mind whenever you see any of my videos and what I'm eating. Context absolutely matters when it comes to keto or any other way of eating for that matter. Alright, here's my full day of eating and my intermittent fasting window.
So my day normally starts about 6:30, 7 a.m. And unless I'm hungry and my body is telling me to eat, you can typically find me fasting for at least the next 4 to 5 hours. Some mornings I do water, lemon juice, apple cider vinegar with a little bit of stevia, and other times I'll just do herbal tea. Regardless of which one I choose though, I always add 10 to 15 drops of this concentrate trace mineral drops. My morning supplement routine varies depending on what I'm cycling in and out, but on this particular morning I used this GABA Soothe. This I take mainly to balance sleep hormones as well as reduce stress and anxiety. I also supplement with vitamin D3. I normally take anywhere between 2,000 and 5,000 IUs per day. I usually break my fast every single day anywhere between 12 and 2 p.m. Some mornings I do a decaf latte, and this particular morning I actually made a matcha green tea latte. The supplements usually always stay the same though. 1 scoop of glutamine, 1 scoop of collagen protein, about half a teaspoon of L-carnitine, and for this particular latte I added about 1 to 2 teaspoons of matcha green tea powder. MCT oil or ghee are probably my favorite sources of fat to add to my lattes. Because I was having this as a hot latte, I ended up choosing ghee over the MCT oil. And then just a little bit of liquid stevia to sweeten it up. Everything gets thrown in a blender, mixed on high until creamy, smooth, and frothy. Depending on my hunger, I usually eat my first meal anywhere between 12 and 2 p.m. While preparing whatever I'm going to eat, I always take 1 digestive enzyme. So my first meal for this particular day was a Mediterranean Greek salad. I used about 3 to 4 cups of romaine and spinach. To that I added some chopped red cabbage, some roasted red bell peppers, red onion, and then leftover Greek chicken that we had the night before for dinner. I also added about 2 to 3 tablespoons of these olives that I buy from Trader Joe's. Then I whip up my really basic lemon vinaigrette, which is only a handful of ingredients. Fresh lemon juice, a little apple cider vinegar, olive oil or avocado oil, about 1 big tablespoon of chopped garlic, salt, pepper, oregano, and a few drops of stevia just to sweeten it up just a little bit. Meal 1 for the day completed in less than 5 minutes. Once meal 1 is done, I normally take my afternoon supplements, just a multivitamin, some curcumin, and this particular week I added in ubiquinol, which is an advanced form of CoQ10. Late afternoon, early evening, I'll normally feel like I want to have a little bit of something to eat. So on this particular day, I actually chose a green avocado smoothie, which is probably my favorite smoothie of all time. Again, really simple to make. All I do is add about 1 cup of unsweetened dairy-free milk, a huge handful or 2 of spinach, a little bit of stevia, and 1 whole avocado. Sometimes I will add a little bit of collagen protein or my PE Science vegan protein, but on this day I was actually feeling like I wanted to chew on something, so I just grabbed one of these Chomps beef sticks that I get from Trader Joe's. These sticks are gluten-free, they're grass-fed with no antibiotics, and a really, really quick, easy, on-the-go source of protein. In the afternoon, I'll usually have another couple of cups of herbal tea. On this day, I chose some peppermint holy basil tea, and I made it right after I had eaten my first meal, and then just turned it into an iced tea, added a little bit of liquid stevia, and I sipped on this for the rest of the afternoon. Second meal of the day was grilled salmon with a ton of vegetables. Salmon was simply seasoned with a little bit of salt, pepper, and some lemon juice, thrown in a cast iron skillet until both sides were crispy. I put it on a big bed of spinach, sauteed up some riced cauliflower, and then also had some roasted broccolini. To get a little bit of fat into my dinner, I actually ended up adding about a tablespoon of Kerrygold butter. That melted right on top, and then I added a little bit more of fresh lemon juice. And anytime our family eats salmon at home, I always take the skin off of the salmon fillets and fry them up in a little bit of butter in the cast iron skillet. I'm the only one in the house that eats this, but they are so crispy and crunchy and delicious. Dessert for this particular night does not get any easier. All I did was take a little bit of my favorite dark chocolate. Half of this entire bar is only about 6 grams of net carbs. Then I just slather it with a little nut or seed butter. As I mentioned in a previous video, I've been loving this raw pecan butter. I'm so glad I discovered it a couple of months ago. Some nut butter and some dark chocolate. Effortless, simple, and one of my favorite ways to end the day.
Thanks again for tuning in. I've tried to link all of the products that I've used in this episode in the description box below. So if you have any questions, please be sure to check there first. Otherwise, if you like this video and like what I shared, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. Thanks again, have a beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you next time.